Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 11th of January already at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to welcome you to the show. What else? Well, let's see. We're over in the chat room. You can find the chat room by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number one, number 2radio.com, and clicking on the chat button. And that will redirect you into the Facebook chat where our producer Scott is standing by and he'll gladly let you in the room. We are also live streaming from two different places. You can find the live stream at YouTube or on Facebook, Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. So if you'd rather watch than listen, you can do that there. So that's what's up. We are going to have a great show and have lots of ground to cover. But as always, I just want to ask, how's everybody doing? Any needs, disasters, tragedies, triumphs, anything you want to share? Throw it up in the chat room. Let's talk about it. We are in a very weird time. I mean, we have been for quite a while, as we all know, but it just feels like we could all offer a little bit of support to each other. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And hello, Jacqueline. I am keeping an eye on all of the chat rooms, so wherever you are commenting, I shall see you. Hi to Pamela, Sid, Raven, Renee. Good to see everybody. Oh, I hope you guys are having a great week. I had a chance to go to Boise last weekend for a couple of days to spend with my kids that live there, and it was awesome. It was great. Very nice to get to go hang out with them. Mars and I went down. Mars is just basically amazing and did nearly all of the driving because she's cool like that. And it was great. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but I do not like to drive. I can drive and I will drive and I have a great car. But if anyone else is going that has a driver's license, I'm going to need them to drive. I'm just like that. Hey, Jane. Yeah. So, at any rate, Mars was amazing and did all of the driving, almost all of the driving, which was great. And it was nice. We had a fun time. I got to have coffee with a friend down there besides hang out with the kids. It was a good little break. So, back to reality. But this is Mars's last week, and she heads back to school, and we'll be back to being empty nesters yet again. So, we're getting used to this shtick now. We know what to do. I was going to say what not to do, but I don't know that that's true. I mean, I've been pretty clear about this in the past that my life motto is I do what I want when I want, and that really hasn't changed. So there you go. I do have some show and tell. Scott has been busy making tarot boards. So I did put some pictures in the chat room. And I'm going to show some picture or going to show them to you here in the live stream. I'm going to share a link to our Etsy store if you're interested in picking one up. That would be the place to do it. So let me show you. These are so cool. So he made a tree of life board. And what these boards are is they're like a mini altar or they're a board to hold your cards. So they have a slit in the top of them that you can slide your tarot cards into or your oracle cards so that you can, if you do a reading for yourself every day, or even if you're just doing a reading in general, you can put your cards up in the slots. And these hold 3 cards really comfortably. If you overlapped a little bit, 4 cards of oracle cards, of smaller tarot cards, they would easily hold 4, maybe 5. So there's this one. It's a tree of life. It is copper resin inside of it in the tree. It just turned out beautifully. And then one that is a crystal moon phase board. It's just finished in natural finish. And of course, they're all laser engraved. You guys can't imagine what my house smells like. I mean, this is in, its own, down in our craft room with the door shut, but still, it smells like we're about to have a campfire up in here. And then this one is really antiqued. It is a Lotus Moon Phase board. Yeah, are those cool? This is what we did for the girls for Christmas this year. I just think they're very cool. And they're a nice little mini altar, that you could sit anywhere and put your cards and a few crystals and a candle and what have you on them. Or you could travel with them if you like to set up an altar wherever you go. So, a lot of thoughts there. So, I did put a link in both chat rooms if you're interested in checking those out on Etsy. However, our Etsy store is Joyful Goddess Designs, and you can find them over there. So, kind of fun. I love them. Here's what they look like all set up. And I did put pictures in the chat room too so that you guys can see them. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Yeah, so there you go. All righty. Let's hold on. I'm going to jump back to the other chat room here quickly. Ooh, Tiffany said COVID is ramped up there. She said she's trying to stay home as much as possible, but her boyfriend works in a medical office, so it makes her nervous. Yeah, most definitely. Definitely, Tiffany. In fact, Christy is sick right now and is awaiting a COVID test. Well, if she's had the test, she's awaiting results. And I mean, we're small, but our testing center yesterday was the cars were lined up for several blocks. And apparently, some of the cars were sticking way out into the road and caused an accident, like way out into a main busy road and caused an accident. My sister Kara's office is in that part of town, and she said that people were just right in front of them. Yep. Oh, good. Actually, Christy just messaged me to say that her tests are both negative. PCR and rapid tests are both negative. Oh, thank God. We don't want that girl getting COVID. She's just got a cold. Well, there's a lot of that going on right now, too. So, yikes. Say hi to Kate and Tiffany and Alishaya. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. I would love to ship them over to you for sure. Oh, anyway, yeah. So, to make a long story short, COVID is insane here now, too. Just insane. But yeah, to see those lines on Friday, the testing center here in my town posted on Facebook and asked everyone to share it around a little bit that they were closed for the rest of the day because all their employees had COVID and they didn't have anyone to man the COVID testing station. So they're just a little satellite office that has like 2 employees, but yeah, they couldn't even stay open because everyone had COVID. And blah blah blah. We're all so damn sick of COVID, right? 10 out of 10. All right. Well, let's take a look at Luminous. So, you may have gotten your copy emailed to you here about an hour ago or seen it somewhere in social media and places like that. But I'm still going to put a link in the chat room. Yeah, I did a at-home kit a couple weeks ago too, Tiffany. Yep. And the at-home kits have been really hard to get. Luckily, my daughter gets them from her work and had left some here for us just in case. But thank you, Terry. Hello, Maya. Nice to see you. And you too, Deb. And you too, Jacqueline. Okay. I put a link in the chat room to Luminous, but you can also find it over at katie-weaver.com under the Luminous magazine link. I'm going to share my screen. We have a new contributor. I'm really excited to introduce her to you guys. Okay. Isn't this cover gorgeous? It's probably not the Grand Tetons, but it reminded me of the Grand Tetons. And today is my dad's birthday. Yep. Eighth birthday. Wow. Eighth birthday in heaven for this man. And excuse me, he was born at the base of the Grand Tetons, and so was I. I was born in the same hospital. And at any rate, this is where he lived when he was a kid and up until when we were little kids. And then we moved to the town we live in now. But at any rate, there is just a real connection to me, to him through mountains and mountain ranges. So, anyway, in light of it being his birthday, I chose this scene for the cover. Also, happy birthday, Dad. All right, a note from me. I named the magazine this week the Go with the Flow edition because we are really being asked yet again to go with the flow, to be resilient, to be able to move with the current flow of the energy and just the current flow of the of the ever changing life experiences right now. So I thought go with the flow is probably great. And I was also thinking that hey, Geraldine, thank you. I was also thinking that how many of us are just damn tired of going with the flow? You know, I think at this point, maybe we're just feeling like, God, hey, Lillian and Quelly, maybe you just want to dig your heels in and say, I shall go with the flow no longer. But unfortunately, most of the time when you do that, you just cause yourself more frustration than not. So here we go. We are flowing. All righty. All right. But I was thinking about resilience and how to go with the flow, you have to be resilient. I was also thinking about how many times I have encountered people in my life, clients, mostly my kids as friends, actually, that don't have resiliency skills. A lot of times that's because of traumatic childhoods or just not having those mirrored back for them. Especially people who had like abuse for sure, but also like really panicky, knee jerk parents or parents who you never knew what they were going to do. You never knew what their response to something would be, you know, parents you couldn't trust, in other words. So, here are some thoughts on how to be authentic or to be resilient. Number one, be authentic, which means just being true to you and being, finding a way to be okay with who you are and not having to morph yourself into every situation you are in, right? That you can be in a group of people that are all drinking tea and you can drink coffee, right? You can be in a group of vegetarians and eat a steak. You can just be yourself. And often people who do not have resilience will morph themselves to the situation that they are in. That is survival mode stuff. That a lot of times is from living in abuse and domestic violence or things like that, where, pardon me, you have not been free to be resilient, right? You haven't been free to be authentic. You just had to blend into the woodwork. So you just fit into wherever you were. But to be truly resilient, you need to find that place in you where you can be authentic and comfortable in your own skin. Number two, find your calling. Know who you are. Know what you like. Know what you want out of life. Know what your goals are. Number three, maintain perspective. This is a big one because I see this in, overly panicky people when everything sends you into a tailspin or any bit of bad news or uncomfortable news sends you into immediate places of jumping to the worst conclusion in a single bound. That is the opposite of being resilient, right? And so being able to flow carefully, flow easily, and allow yourself the opportunity to step back, take a minute, think before you act, think before you speak, and just take that perspective. That serves you very well. Number four, manage stress. Why? Because if you don't manage stress, then you will make decisions that are based out of snap judgments, uh, survival mode. In other words, you make decisions that you'll regret later. So take a step back again, manage stress. Don't make decisions when you are feeling under the gun if you can, because this is when bad decisions happen. When stress is piling on, this is when we do things that later on you look back and go, Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I respond that way? Number 5, work with your support system. Know how to ask for help. Know how to say, I'm not okay. Know how to say no. Number 6, stay healthy to the best of your abilities, right? Lots of us don't have much of a choice. Our health does what it does, but do your best to stay healthy. And if you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. Don't be a martyr. If you need to get a counselor, get a counselor. Don't suffer in silence and try to force yourself to be tough. A lot of people do that, and it's not a good way to be resilient. It's also just not a good way to live because so much of your energy goes into that when you could have had something better going on. And number 7, build networks. Kind of like you guys right here in the chat room. You guys build these friendships here. You build these connections here with each other and with me and with other hosts around here. And it really is a place where you can have a bit of a network, right? Other networks could be churches or study groups or yoga groups or drum circles or a billion other things, but building networks of friends, of like minded people, of community members are really important ways to be able to be resilient. So that's a few thoughts there. I would also be curious to know. Sid said, resilience is often born of childhood trauma and is one of the blessings. I think it also comes from changing the way you look at things and the things that you are looking at change. Though this is very, very tough during these unprecedented times, for sure. Yeah. Yep. Well, and some people definitely develop resilience from childhood trauma. Some people develop the opposite. But it's true that childhood trauma makes you have to sink or swim, without a doubt. Okay. I want to share my 12-month reading. This I'm super excited about. I'm doing it very differently this year. In all of the years past, I did the reading and then sent you guys a video of it, and then you just had that to watch and replay whenever you wanted to. This year, I decided that I am lonely. I don't want to do them alone. I want you guys to come. So I'm doing them as a Zoom reading instead. So it's still an email reading that you purchase over at one2listen.com under me, hey Sharon, under me, Katie Weaver. And then I will reach out to you and we'll schedule a time and I'll send you a Zoom link and then we'll meet up on Zoom and we'll do the whole 12-month reading. And this year I am using the John Holland Psychic Tarot for the main message. I am using Angela Hartfield's gratitude cards for the action card. And I'm using the Denise Lynn Gateway cards for the positive affirmation. And then we are reading a chapter out of Kathleen Peterson's book, the We Are Here For You book. And that will be the just the message from an archangel or light being for you for the year. Just one light being or archangel for you to connect with this year. Then I will still upload it as a private link on YouTube and send you the link so that you still have that to fall back on and go through whenever you want to. I know a lot of you guys watch them. You go to that month and watch it, pardon me, every month so that you have a sense of what's going on. But that's how I'm doing them this year. And I'm excited about it. So far, so good. I'm enjoying them a lot. And honestly, I'm really loving seeing you guys' faces and sharing in your energy with your reading. So if you want to do a 12-month, just go over to One2Listen, look for me, Katie Weaver, and in my profile, you'll see email readings. Find the 12-month reading there, buy it, and then I'll reach out to you and we'll set up a time and we'll get it done. So that's how they are happening. I'm so excited that I changed them. I'm loving them. It's really fun. All righty. And then, of course, over on Planet Meditation, this is Scott and I's brand new meditation channel. And if you guys like YouTube meditations, I hope that you will consider following ours. It is really fun. We're having a blast with it. We have a whole bunch of videos up there now where it's not quite a year or a month old yet, our channel, but we do have about 30 videos, 35 videos now. So we've been working hard. We're just having a lot of fun putting them together. So I'll share a link in both of the chat rooms, but it is Planet Meditation on YouTube. And I would love it if you guys would go and follow us over there. But also, just take a look. I did put 4 of them in Luminous this week: the Winged Things meditation, Mandala Magic, Majestic Elephant meditation, and Grieving Heart meditation. So I would love to know if any of that suits you or serves you. I'd also love to know if you have any suggestions. If there's a meditation you would love to see me make, let me know. I would be happy to do it. Okay. Bitch Scopes with Miss Kelly. Let's see what she says about today. January 11th, Mars square Neptune, low vibes, suspiciousness and deceit. Sun conjunct Juno, the desire for partnership and devotion. Now let's read one scope. Let's see. How about Sag? Your social life and the life you may share with a partner are affected for the next few weeks. There may be a shuffling of friends, neighbors, or siblings that changes who is close to you or that you interact with the most. If you are in a committed relationship, the things your partner brings to the relationship will be highlighted. This includes money and debts as you examine where you are now versus where you were then if you've been together a while. If done with care, intimacy can be heightened during this process. Make sure your records, storage files, etc. are secure and backed up when necessary. So that is for Sagittarius. So be sure and check out your bitch scope and that of your, family and friends, your boss. Sometimes it's nice to just have a peek at where people are at. All right, the tip of the week: the essential oil blend for pain. Yes, 'tis the season. It has been very cold here, and my arthritis has basically had enough of this. Yes, Jane, I am creating the meditation video. Scott, too. We're teaming up. He does some of them, and I do some of them. And yes, I'm trying to make them not crazy long, somewhere between 8 and 15 minutes are most of mine, because I think that is just the right length. Yeah. Thank you for loving them. All right, the essential oil blend for pain. This is my absolute favorite. We used to make this in our store. I still make this and send to some people that like to order it from me, but you can really make it yourself. It's 10 drops each of lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense essential oils in a 5 ml roller bottle. And then top that off with liquid coconut oil. That's it. And then, give it a good swirl to mix it up. And it is an amazing blend for aches and pains. You'll smell great too. I love the blend. The smell of this blend is my favorite. It smells really good, but the lemongrass just makes it. And frankincense just balances it. And then marjoram just adds a little bit of depth to it. But I really like the scent of this one. So you don't have to follow my recipe down to a science. If you like a little bit more or less of something, do it. But the key is lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense cut in a carrier oil. That's the key. So, yeah, give it a try. I know a lot of you guys have because of this recipe. It is just one of the best. Okay. All right. Our Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle reading from Christy this week is the Flow card. There's a little video here you can watch from her. The Magic Monday message from Melissa: I manifest a positive place in the world. How cool is that? And then we have our brand new column. This is Ginger. She is a new advisor over at 1-2 Listen, though this is probably a familiar face to a lot of you guys. Ginger has been around the 1-2 world for a long time. And I'm so excited that she came on to Luminous. So, Heart Happenings is her article. And every year she's going to be peeking into, what she sees for the week. And sometimes I think she's going to be channeling, looking into astrology, and so on and so forth. And she started us off with a beautiful article this week. So thank you so much for that. So be sure to check it out. And if you love it, go give her a little boost on Facebook and let her know. All righty. Over at True Crime Paranormal, we have Lauren Smith Fields and White Privilege from our article last night, or our story last night, and then Adam Castillo the day before, as well as the neuroscience of serial killers, a DNA for the Win case, an O Idaho segment, and an MMIW case. So lots of stuff. We have a brand new format at True Crime Paranormal for season 3 that we just embarked on. And it means that you're getting 3 cases in every episode, because we have our main case, but we're also doing 2 little mini cases from a handful of different categories, like, Idaho, because Idaho, uh, missing and murdered Indigenous women, DNA for the win, weird crime, creepy crime, a spotlight on missing people, racial injustice, a whole bunch of different categories that we're choosing from to bring more footage. So we're excited about it. So that's what's up with True Crime Paranormal this week. Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Archangel Jophiel. And Jamie has a brand new video this week. So make sure you take a look at that. Mercury is retrograding again, because that's what we wanted to see happen all the time. I'm kidding. Honestly, Mercury going retrograde doesn't usually affect me all that much. So I really don't have much to complain about. I don't have anything to complain about, really. But it might get interesting, though. Everything's pretty interesting. Karen said she is damn tired. I hear you, Karen. I know. Me too. Really. I do. Okay. Well, moving forward, let's see. Raven, I did not discontinue the daily dish. It's still going out. You're not getting it? Just message me your email address and I'll pull it out and put it back in. Sometimes it takes that. I don't know why. That program can be a little bit frustrating. But no, the daily dish is going out every day per normal. Hey, Denise. Okay, let's see. Laurie said, I love what you're talking about with resiliency. My daughter is that way because she's had to be. She's had to handle a lot in her life. I really wish someone had taught me this when I was younger, especially since I was a 19-year-old mother and didn't know a lot. I'm going to go back and listen to this show because I really love everything you're saying. Oh, it's so good to have you here, babe. Thank you. Okay, well, that is Luminous. So, what I wanted to do today is some readings, because it's been a while since we had much of a readings show. But before that, we do need to do bibliomancy. So you might remember that this year I have chosen to use Kathleen's book to pull a chapter every week and read it to give us a sense of a message from her and also from her light beings for every week. So we'll go ahead and so the way you do bibliomancy is you just ask, what do we need to know this week? And then I'm going to just flip through the book till the right thing, till it opens, right? How do you explain that? You guys know what I mean, I think. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is, I'm bad at this. This is Quan T. I come today to talk to you about leadership and what you, as spiritual beings on the earth plane, can do as you move further into the 21st century. It is important for you to look inside yourselves and know that what you want in a leader. I am called a warrior because when I lived on the earth plane, I was a warrior, but one who eventually chose understanding and acceptance of differences rather than fear and control, which causes war and strife. What kind of leader do you want? What kind of leader are you? Is it time for all to go into the innermost recesses of your soul and ask, what can I do now to bring peace to myself and those around me? It begins with you. The more often you operate from fear and control, the more it propagates that behavior in others. Fear is very powerful, and the more fearful you are, the more control you wish to have. When you come from a place of understanding and compassion, both for yourselves and others, then you can work with others to reach a mutually supportive decision. The more you accept yourself and everything about you, the less you rely on the approval of others. This, therefore, opens you up to the idea that you don't always have to be right, and not everyone has to agree with you. This in turn allows others to express themselves and hopefully begin to accept that they are perfect just the way they are, with their own opinions and ideas. Fear and control block this experience from all concerned. Fear and control, whether it exists in a family, business, or government, is meant to stifle self expression and creativity. Think about where you are in this. Where do you operate? Are you fearful? And if so, how can you release the fear so that you can empower yourself and others to be the most creative, open, caring people they can be? I will help you release your fears and need to control. Call on me when you question how your behavior is affecting you. The more you come from understanding, the more at peace you will be within yourself and the power you will have to live your life from the highest place. This will open your heart and your life to unexpected blessings. So I leave you with this. Release your fears, and your need to control will be released as well. Look to your leaders and ask for assistance in helping them release their fears so that the need for control will disappear and everyone will begin to support one another to be the best they can be. I give you my support as you work towards this goal. I send you blessings and wisdom as you walk this path, realizing that we are all connected, and the more we help one another, the more we learn and grow in the most positive ways. And that again is Quan Ti. So thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Quan Ti. That is a very good reading for around this time, isn't it? I think so too. Thank you, Jane. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So here's what I would like to do. I want to do a little mini, peek into what the 12-month readings look like. So for those of you asking for a reading, what I'm going to do is pull a card from these three decks, just like if we were doing it for a 12-month reading, but we're just looking at, I can do it either way. We can just look at the month for you, or we can answer a question. So I know, like Jacqueline, you had a question. We'll address that. Yeah. And Jane, I think for you, we'll just do a reading based on January. So, Jacqueline, let's read you first. So, let me grab my cards here. All right. So, first, Psychic Tarot from John Holland. Hey, JR. Good to see you. All right. All right. So, Jacqueline, we are asking the question, what do you need to know about finances? And of course, we ask that question and hold that space while we shuffle 3 times. All right. All right. So pulling out the main card, then I'm going to move over to the Gratitude Oracle. And we're going to pull an action card out of it. I cannot shuffle these ones. They are just too big and thick, so I'll have to just mix them up by hand. My poor little hands, they are just not that strong. I need one of those deck shuffling things, but they're probably not big enough for oracle cards. But that's what makes me laugh about Angie's decks. They're honestly just so high quality that they're hard to shuffle. All right. There's our action card. And then an affirmation card from the Denise Lynn Gateways deck. This is the second year that I've used these cards in this reading because I love them. They do such a great job. And I love Denise Lynn. I think she is great. Years ago, she shared on Facebook the picture of one of her chickens standing out the back door, peeking in the screen door, yelling at her. And this was apparently a very regular occurrence that this chicken always thought he had to be the boss of her. I guess he was probably a rooster. Anyway, it just makes me laugh. It's kind of the life I live as well. Not with chickens anymore, but with other animals that think they are the boss of me. All right. Okay, so the solitude card is the first one that comes up. That's the main message, Jacqueline. And we were asking about finances. And so I look at this card in the sense of that book, of really going over your books, going over everything that you know about your finances, your property, and getting really clear. I also feel like I look at that solitude card and I know that's you because that's how you live, and it's also just that's kind of the energy that you carry. I'm actually going to ask you to break out of solitude in this instance and get some advice from a professional financial manager that could take a look with you at your finances and give you some ideas about what you could do to benefit yourself the most in lots of different ways. Okay. The action card is the adventure card. And I look at that maybe in the scope of finances, maybe not, but go, yeah, there's just a reminder here for you that you need to make it a priority to have fun. I know with COVID, you've been really careful and mostly home, and that you haven't seen your family all that much. But there is a big reminder here for you to step out of that, have some fun, go on an adventure, make sure that you are getting yourself around people enough. Oh, this is interesting. Very similar card. The affirmation card is the launching your journey card. The positive affirmation is I am an intrepid traveler sailing forth into the universe. So I'm guessing that that sense of looking at finances is making sure that you free yourself up enough so that there is space here for travel. There is space here for enjoying yourself, for going on, mini trips or visiting family or, the adventures, launching your journey. But boy, that bit that came through for me really so much about checking in with a financial wizard to look at your situation, your property, and so forth to see if you can, you know, how you can benefit from that. Okay, Jane, I'm just going to do the same thing for you. We're just asking for the month. We're just looking at January. Maya says there's an ex named Joe that goes into my professional social media account. Should I be concerned? Like goes into the back end of it? He can log into it? Or he just is keeping an eye on it. Maya, what does that mean? If he's just keeping an eye on it, I'm not worried. If he's able to get into the back end of it, I would not like that either. I would change that. Okay, Jane. Main card. All right. All right, and then an action card from the gratitude deck. Sorry, you guys. I'm pulling cards is a bit of a always keeping an eye on you. You know, I wouldn't be worried about it. It's a little weird, but I think he's just kind of like that. He tries to keep his energy all over the place. So if you don't like that energy around you, you could certainly block him, but I don't think that there's anything specifically to worry about. Like he's not necessarily a creeper or a stalker. You know, he just wants to know what's up. It is kind of weird though. I agree. Because, you know, exes are usually exes for a reason. All right, Jane. Now, a positive affirmation card. Oh, it popped out. Okay. You know how it is when you're reading cards. If a card hops out of the deck while you're trying to shuffle it or manipulate the cards, that's your card. Okay. Rest and rejuvenate. That's the main card. That's the main theme for this month, which I know that's kind of a mixed bag since you are taking care of mom and, you know, kind of have a lot of responsibilities up in there. But there is a message here for you in that I do think the meditation piece there is interesting too. You know, you lived alone for a long time and then living with somebody else, I'm sure in some ways their energy feels a little intrusive. And then, of course, having siblings in and out of the house and stuff too. But I do think that there is a message here for you in making sure that you are getting some of your own space, that you're getting opportunities away from everybody else to just be in your own energy. All right. Oh, hell, we know. The action card is self care. And I'm pretty sure we were just talking about that. Really, for you, I feel like it is finding a way to get some alone time, you know, and it's nothing personal. It's, you know, about mom or anything like that. It's just that you just, you are used to having your own space and having your own opportunities to be in your own energy. And I feel like you're kind of craving that and needing it. All right. Now, this is the card that hopped out, the Proceeding Softly card. This is the affirmation card. My inner power grows in moments of quietude. My inner power grows in moments of quietude. Okay, we'll take it. Which basically means the same thing that the rest of that reading said. Get some time and space to yourself. All right. Let's see. JR, my gut feeling is no, that it's really going to take some time. And I know you've already been putting time into it. I feel like there are so many delays right now with the federal government, and that's really slowing you down. So I'm sorry, but I don't feel like it's going to happen anytime soon. However, I'm going to hold space for you that it does, you know, happen sooner than later, but that's what's coming up for me. I agree, Maya. He's weird AF. Definitely. Okay, so we are on to Lillian. Okay, so, and again, this is just a model of how the 12-month readings are going this year. So we're going to this is a general read for you for this month coming. All right, action card. Oh, that's the main card. Now pulling an action card from Angela Hartfield's Gratitude Oracle. It did not escape me when I chose this reading that I somehow managed to pull together work from two of my dear colleagues that have passed here in the last few months, and how powerful it is to have this body of work that they left with the world, and how amazing that is. Though their pardon me, their work, their spirits, they continue to march on because of who they were and what they left us. Okay. All right, one more, Liliane. Looking for the affirmations card. Okay, babe, here we go. The main card this month, kind of a bummer. It's the heartache and loss card. I feel like this is you just grieving where you are right now, just kind of grieving some turns of events in your life. I feel like this grief has to be addressed, though. And when you're feeling down, that you recognize that this is grief because of changing circumstances, and that you give yourself an opportunity to go through that grief. You can't just stuff it. You got to go through it. You've got to let yourself feel it and do it with some support from others. The action card is the security card, which, hello, isn't that the coolest card? She's holding a fox. I love it. The security card for you, I feel like, is those worries about what are things going to look like moving forward? What do I need to do to make sure that my needs are met? And really this month, just making sure that you do have some of those things nailed down. I think making sure that some of your friends and family are aware of your situation in case you do need to call on somebody for some help, that they're aware, and that you just kind of start putting some resources together for future needs should they arise. And then the affirmation card is mending bridges. I heal rifts. I am a mender. And this is for you. This is mending any bridges that you would like to mend. Are there some friendships, some relationships, some old stuff that has some hurt still festering in it that you're not comfortable with? This is a good time to deal with those things. I know you're ready to lay your hammer down, and I would imagine that they probably are too. All right, babe, there you go. Yes. Oh, yeah. Jane said she really misses her alone time and sitting in nature. Yeah. I know it. You just popped straight into straight up caregiver mode, and that's a lot of work. It really is. Yep. Thank you, Tiffany. That is perfect for the time we are in. I agree. That Kathleen, she was a visionary, huh? Okay, let's see. Deb. All right, Deb, here we go. So, asking for the main card. Am I just slow? Maybe I'm just a slow shuffler. Maybe I am the problem. What? No. Maybe there's no problem. Maybe it just bugs me. I don't like the downtime of pulling cards, but you just kind of have to go through it if you're going to pull cards on the air. That's it. See, I am the problem. Okay. All right. Main card, Deb. All right. Let's grab the action card here from the Gratitude Oracle. Kind of wish I just had prints. I think you can buy them probably from Josephine Wall, but of these cards because my God, the artwork is just stunning on every single one of them. Angie had told me once that, pardon me, while working on a deck, that Josephine had sent her 300 prints to choose from, and she had them all out on the table, digging through them, trying to decide what print would go with what sentiment for the cards. And what a huge undertaking it is because Josephine is so freaking gifted and her cards are so beautiful. It's a little hard to choose. And, her cards have usually like 48 cards in them, which means that you were going to leave 250 of those on the table. Okay. All right, here's the positive affirmation. All righty, Deb. So this is for January. All right. So the main card is obstacles and challenges. Not necessarily a negative card, but definitely just one to be aware of that you probably have already seen some this month. And that's kind of the theme of this month is seeing some obstacles and challenges through. I think some of this could be things that have already happened or already, a thorn in your side a little bit that just need your attention to get finished up. The good news is I feel like you have the support and the time to counter them and get through to the other side. Like there's nothing truly terrible happening. It's just there's some things that need your attention to get finished up so that you can move forward. All right. Oh, you and Jacqueline are in the very same boat. The action card is the adventure card. Huge reminder for you, babe, to have more fun. That you need some things to look forward to. So, this month is a good time to make some future plans, get some things on your calendar, and start thinking about some adventure. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? Is there a new restaurant in town that you'd like to try? Is there a place you've never traveled to that you'd really like to go? Is there something you've always wanted to see, or a comedian that you love, or a show that you're interested in? I know we're still in COVID times and not all of those things are always possible, but adventure. The adventure card always tells me you need a little more fun in your life. And it's time to start thinking about it and getting some things to look forward to. Okay, the action card is the cherishing self card. I accept and love myself. I love this card. I accept and love myself. And I love the way this is set with you have a meal, you have roses, you have gifts, you have chocolates, you have wine, all for you, just taking good care of you, doing things that you love. Good reminder there, along with that uh, adventure card, to put some things in play. Think about what you want, what you would love to do. I think that if you would do that and put it out there to your family and to your friends, you'd get some takers to go with you. Or if not, you do something really cool by yourself. I know some people really like to travel alone, really like to have experiences like that by themselves so that they don't have to worry about anybody else's energy or wants or needs. They can just focus on theirs, which is pretty cool too. So you decide how that looks for you, babe. But that's it, Deb. Okay. All righty, you guys. That is it. We have you are a warrior, Lillian. You are a badass bitch. Don't you forget it for a half a second. And if you do forget, come and talk to me and I will help you remember. All right, we have done it. I got to get out of here. Make room for Lisa. So, you have been listening to the Katie Weaver Show. Don't forget, I'm a professional psychic advisor over at 12listen.com. You can find me there literally every day. So, if you need something, come see me. Let's work on it. You have been listening to 12 Radio, where we are changing the way you are listening to the world.